Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and today I want to talk to you about some of the stuff that's going on with the 4th anniversary event to clear up some misconceptions and give you some information that apparently some people aren't aware of about the event. So the first thing, this is the mission critical thing that you all need to know. I have people coming to me and asking me, Paulie, how do I get these 4th anniversary outfits for Claudette Morel and the Deathslinger Caleb Quinn? Well, they put this information into the news section of the game, but you had to actually click the link to go to the website, and apparently on console at least, it isn't very convenient to go to another website from the game, so many people miss this information. Probably on PC, some other people just dismissed the click entirely and said, I want to play the game, I don't want to read. So if you click on the link, it takes you to the website where it explains the reward schedule, and you have to log in every couple of days to get this. Hopefully you've logged in already to get this Deathslinger head. And then the second reward is going to be the Claudette torso. Third reward from June 28th to the 30th is going to be the Deathslinger weapon. You get the 2D charm here anytime logging in this week in week 1. Then the reward schedule switches to week 2, where you pick up the Claudette head June 30th to July 2nd, Deathslinger torso in the middle of that week, and finishing off that week July 5th to the 7th with Claudette's pants, and the 3-dimensional charm will be available next week. Though both of those charms are universal for survivors and killers, so you just need to log in. You don't have to actually play. If you have a busy work schedule and you don't have the time, if you're a person who only has a couple of days every week to play, put yourself up a post-it note so you don't miss these dates, so that you can at least have this reminder to log in to make sure that you get these rewards. Now we're going to talk about the crowns in the game. So as you know, we have this limited time event going on where these pedestals spawn in the game and this crown is on top of them. I'm not entirely sure if there's 1 or 2 that spawn at the beginning of the match. I've only ever seen 1. So they spawn in random parts of the map, and then once they're claimed, or if they haven't been claimed in a certain amount of time, they dematerialize, and then another one will spawn in another location. Sometimes you'll see another pedestal spawning in the same location later on in the match, but I've only ever seen 1 pedestal at a time, but people have told me that there are 2. So to get this for a killer, it's quite simple. You just walk up to it and claim it, and then once you leave the trial, as long as you're an original killer, you will have a crown cosmetic for that killer. You don't have to kill anybody. You don't have to get a 4K. You don't even have to get a 1 kill. You just have to claim the crown sometime during the match, and then you have it. I think it's worth about 250 or 300 points to claim it, and then once you finish the match, you get a 500 or bonus or something like that. It isn't worth a lot of points. And I think the reason why these are worth so few points is by design, because we've seen previous events where people complained that no one was playing the game properly because the side objectives were worth so many points that it wasn't really worth it to do the generators. People would just go in and suck the pustula flowers dry and give themselves up, and they didn't care. So these being worth so few points, there is very little incentive to warp the game towards this as a secondary objective. Sure, even if you have a crown on your head already, or if you have a crown for the character that you're playing, you can grab these if you're walking by for a couple of 100 points, but honestly, cleansing a totem is going to be worth more points than grabbing one of these crowns and trying to leave with it, unless you need it as a cosmetic. So it isn't that big of a deal. Also, I think the reason why there aren't many around is also by design, because you would see other times, like for lantern events, for example, where killers knew that the survivors were thirsty for the lanterns and they would camp out those spots. So having this mechanic where the pedestal can disappear if it's not claimed for a certain amount of time and appear in another part of the map seems like it's also done by design to prevent killers from denying people their crowns. So yeah, they're hard to find. I've had people tell me that they've walked all around the map and not found one, but I think what's happening is by the time you get to that side of the map where there was a crown, it spawned back somewhere where you were. So it seems like I've had people tell me on some of these larger maps, like the swamp, that there aren't any crown pedestals, but I've seen the crown pedestals there. So I think it's like they've just covered the whole map and by the time they got to the part where the crown used to be, it spawned back where you've already been. So there aren't many there, but they do exist. Now, for a survivor, your job's a lot harder. Not only do you have to find a crown and claim it, you then have to survive the trial to get the crown cosmetic for your character. Now, there's a lot of misconception about who can get a crown, so let's talk about that. Now, while it's true that, for example, someone like Steve Harrington can grab a crown off a pedestal in the game and leave with it, that doesn't mean that they're going to get a cosmetic for that character in the game. You will get the points for it, but you will not get a head cosmetic. The head cosmetics are limited solely to the characters who are created by Dead by Daylight. They're originals. None of the licensed characters who have come from video games, film, or television can get crown cosmetics in the game. So I'm going to show you here, somebody on Reddit put together this crown list and this image here of all of the different characters who have crowns. Now, some of these are maybe at a glance are a little difficult for you to tell who they are. Like in the very end of the first row here, that's the hag's hair. So the hag's hair, and the third one in the second row is the plague's headpiece. So for those two particular characters, maybe even, I'm not sure, Huntress, you can do the frosty eyes on the hag and the plague because their eyes are connected to their body, so they aren't connected to their headpiece. So you could have frosty-eyed hag with the crown or frosty-eyed plague with the crown, which is kind of interesting combinations. The spirit, really, her crown is kind of lost in her hair. I wish she was using it as a scrunchie, honestly, to tie up all that hair, because it's very hard to see in her mound of hair. Even the Oni on some of his hairstyles, it just like looks like an extra set of horns sticking up in the back. The crowns really get lost in the hair cosmetics for the Yamaoka family there. So these are all the characters you can get the crowns for. If you don't see the character here, they can't get it. You can't get anybody from Stranger Things. You can't get anybody from Saw Chapter. No one from Halloween. No one from Nightmare on Elm Street. Not Leatherface. Who am I forgetting? I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. But you know what I mean. Ghostface you can't get. Ash. None of the licensed characters can have crowns because those are characters who are owned by other people and they just don't have the permissions for it. So these crowns are only for the Dead by Daylight original characters. And people have asked me, well, are we going to be able to keep these headpieces once the event is over? I haven't seen a definitive answer, but I would imagine these are going to be forever cosmetics. I don't know why they wouldn't be. It seems, like that would be very underwhelming to play at the end of this event and get the crown on a character finally and then have it taken away from you once the event is over. So I think when some people are misinterpreting the limited time event part of the crowns as when you can get them, not how long they last. Once you've gotten them, they should theoretically last forever. All of these crowns only come on the default head for the character. So like if I'm playing as Zarina with her hair in a bun and the sunglasses and I leave with the match and I'm like, wait a minute, I had a crown, how come I didn't get a crown on her head? That's because I wasn't using her default headpiece. You'll notice here all of the images are the default headpieces for the characters. For example, Nia is going to have that knit beanie hat with the crown. You can't wear anything else and have a crown on it. It has to be their default headpiece that they come with when you first have that chapter. Make sense? Another thing I want to talk about is the in-game event items. The event 4th anniversary medkit and the 4th anniversary flashlight. They're pretty cool. Like they shoot out confetti when you blind a killer with the flashlight and then make a little brrr noise. Or when you complete a heal with the 4th anniversary medkit, it bursts confetti and brrr. And same as when you complete a gen or a hook, it makes that celebratory kazoo noise. So those are pretty cool items, but they have been difficult to find on bloodwebs. I would recommend that if you're on your bloodweb, you go for every mystery box that you see, because there'll be a chance of you getting an event item in there. And also, if you plan on going and searching through a bunch of chests in the game, I would recommend that you don't bring plunderers. Now, I know plunderers is going to help you find the locations of the chests, but it's also going to increase the rarity of the item inside of it. So I don't think you should bring that because these are considered common items. So you probably won't get that. I also think there's a chance that being prestige on your character's blood webs is hurting your chances of having these items spawn. Because when you are prestige 3, for example, you have a 30, 20, and 10% increased chance of getting the greens, purples, and iridescent red items on your blood webs. So I think that is making less spots on your blood webs for common items, which would be these event items. I don't know if that's for sure, but that's what it feels like. I've had a lot of people tell me that they've spent millions of blood points and come away with very few of the event items. So hopefully that information will help you if you go searching in the trial. Maybe even if the devs kind of loosened it up and made it a little easier to get those items, that would be cool too, please. And then the other event item that we have going on is the Ghastly Gateau cake, which is currently bugged as of recording this video. So this cake, the way that it is described, is that it's supposed to give 104% bonus blood points to every player in the match, which would be all 4 survivors and the killer. It works just like a bloody party streamer, but it's a little bit better. Instead of 100%, it's 104%, and it stacks. So, like, if all 4 of the survivors and the killer played a cake, you should get 520% bonus blood points. However, the cakes aren't working to stack. So this is a problem. I'm telling everybody they should probably hold them. Cakes are good forever. The cakes aren't going to expire once the event is over. They're just like bloody party streamers. You're going to be able to use them whenever. So once the cakes do get fixed, then you'll be able to stack them properly. And when someone else plays a cake, you will get the benefit from those. Now, having said that, somebody transposed the numbers when they were putting in the numbers for this cake, and it's currently giving 140% bonus blood points, but those bonus blood points are only going to you as a player. So it's up to you if you want to play them now. If you want to play them now, you're getting more points for you as an individual, but you aren't helping anybody else get any points. So you can blow through your cakes right now and get 140% and just hope, well, once they're fixed, I'll get more cakes and then I can stack them with people. Or you can save them and hold out so that you have plenty of cakes to stack with people when they are all playing them. That's entirely up to you. Personally, I'm just going to save my cakes because I know that I'm going to most likely play in a team and I'll be able to stack cakes later once it is fixed. That's the status of that. Once I hear that that has been corrected, I will shout it from the rooftops on Twitter and on my community page. I'm constantly getting asked, Paulie, did they fix cakes yet? Paulie, did they fix cakes yet? As far as I know, they are not fixed. So that's the information on that. Also regarding other things that are not fixed, I apologize for making the video about the Konami code. I was told that the Konami code worked on console. I was misinformed. The Konami code is bugged on console. However, they do want all of the console players to be able to use the Konami code and unlock that Vic Viper charm. So, they actually put out this statement about it here to somebody who wrote in. Thank you for writing in. There's currently an issue with the Konami code not working properly on consoles. This is currently being investigated by our team. We'll have it fixed as soon as possible. Please let me know if you have any other questions or concerns. See you in the fog, the Dead by Daylight team. So they're not trying to keep this Vic Viper charm from anybody on console. Not trying to exclude anybody. It's just not working right now. The next time they put out a patch, it'll probably be fixed. And again, this will be another situation that as soon as I know it's working, I'll try and make sure that you know that it's working too. So I think that's all I have for you today regarding this 4th anniversary. Happy anniversary, everybody. Happy anniversary to Dead by Daylight. Hope y'all are enjoying the event. I've been going through and picking away at all of my survivors and a few of the killers here. I'm going to try and get all of these crown cosmetics for all the characters. I think it's like 27 characters in all. So we'll get there. We got a lot of time. But the one thing you really need to make sure that you don't miss out on is these login dates. Because if you miss one of these because you work for a couple of days and you don't log in, I just hate for you guys to miss one of these cosmetics and have an incomplete outfit. So you got to make sure that you're logging in during these dates to get these. And there isn't like a notification on the screen that it was given in your inventory. You'll have to go into your individual characters to see that you have been awarded it. Make sure that it's there in your cosmetics list. Oh, and I had somebody ask me, they said, well, what if I don't own the Deathslinger? Am I still going to be able to get this outfit once I buy them in the future with shards and unlock them? I'm pretty sure that you will get it. I had one person tell me that they have showing in their inventory 1 out of 30 cosmetic items for the Deathslinger, and they don't own that character, so they must have the headpiece given to them in their inventory for doing that. So, yes, you're not going to miss out on these Deathslinger cosmetics if you don't own that character yet. Those cosmetics should be waiting for you once you do own the character. Just got to make sure that you don't miss those login dates. Okay, that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Happy anniversaries. Take care of each other in the fog. Bye-bye.